Hello, this is Abimbola from the Lots Project. Abimbola from the Lots Project, reaching you today again on an interesting topic on how to get a wife. One is by culture, by when you redeem, you pass the wife down if the owner of the wife dies. That happens a lot. It still happens till tomorrow in some countries or culture. And then by adultery, which is a very wrong thing that David did with Bathsheba, although he was forgiven, or by talking to her like Jacob did to Joseph. He actually went to meet his wife himself and talk to her himself. By searching like Eliza, the top servant of Abraham did, he had to search, prayed and searched until he got to Rebecca in Abraham's family. By matchmaking, we talked about that, or by stealing and kidnapping. Very interesting. You need to go to a previous episode. By gifting, some people actually give their daughters out, and by betrothal, it's almost the same. A man will look at a family and will say, when this child gets old, when this girl gets old, I want to be the husband when she's ripe enough, just like Joseph and Mary. By just being kind, like Moses was being kind to Zipporah when she came to water the animals, and by God's instruction. Anytime God can give you an instruction to tell you this is your wife, okay, He can reveal it to you. Now today we are going to talk about the other time we talked about culture, we forgot to mention Boaz and Ruth. If you remember, I have to put it here because it's extremely important. Now, the redeeming aspect. Ruth was a Moabite from another place, and then her husband had died, and she had decided to just read the book of Ruth. It's very short, just four short chapters, but that is a real love story. I have a whole episode on that. So the husband died, and she decided she had to follow the mother-in-law back to Israel, which she did. In the process of doing that, she had to work because they were poor, and there was this handsome, rich gentleman who redeemed her, okay, who married her to take care of her, and eventually continue the lineage of her father-in-law, and eventually he became the grandfather of David or something like that. I think they had Obes, and Obes begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David. Okay, that is the story. So you need to go read it in the book of Ruth from chapters 1 to 4. Now, another one, that is number 13, is by mistake. There was a time, this same Judah that had these sons that died, he actually, because he was one that actually found a wife for his son. He found a wife for her. That's what the Bible said. Now, this girl Tamar was now told to go away. The man said she should go away, that when Sheila gets old, maybe married, but Sheila was much younger. So you now realize, when she realized that Sheila was old and the father-in-law didn't send to her, but she knew that father-in-law was coming over to do business in her village or wherever, she disguised as a prostitute, and the man went and took carnal knowledge of her. Eventually, it was a big mistake because he did not know it was his daughter-in-law. Eventually, they had 2 children. They actually even had twins. Can you imagine a mistake producing twins? Perez and the brother, and that was what happened. So at times you may get a wife by mistake. You make a small mistake, maybe when you're drunk or whatever. So you have to be careful. You have to get your conduct right, and you don't go around sleeping anyhow because you're on business trips. Then you decide to flaunt yourself. You may get into trouble in the process, and God just bless you. It's not a relative that you never knew was a relative, which will be very, very embarrassing. And that is it. I also have the war captives. Oh my God, time is gone. I cannot go through that. I will in the next episode. The war captives. We talk about the war captives, and we talk about the war captives. We talk about those who got married by appreciation and reward. And I think that's about it. May the Lord help us in Jesus' name. So I want you all to look at all these points and see which one is the easiest for you and the best thing to do. But please do not steal any woman anywhere. My name is Abimbola. I am from the Lots Project. I'll be back very soon. Bye.